Yo, welcome back. It's been a minute. It's Corey TheGreat, aka Poseidon, Soundz, down in mob, all that, you know what it is. And it's been a minute since I tapped in with you guys. 2020 has been a hectic year for everybody. But I've been gone. I've had a lot of things happening in just my personal life. Had a few family members pass away, including both of my grandmas. So it's been a hectic year on top of the pandemic. But I'm glad to inform you guys that I am back. I'm getting back to it. Last time I left off, we were supposed to be talking about the mixing video in terms of leveling, but I've been having a hard time with my 2015 laptop, only having I think 8 gigs of RAM, and trying to screen record that while actually giving you the video on that because the sessions are so big. So I'm gonna figure that out eventually. But today what I have for you is a sidechain technique video, and just plenty of 808s and kick sidechain videos out there, how to sidechain the kick to the 808. I'm going to show you that, but I'm going to show you that in a different way. And I'm going to show you that I'm going to show you how to sidechain the specific frequencies that overlap through the kick, the 808, or any other thing that you think about using this on. I use it on a lot of 2-tracks when I want to sidechain like around the 1K range, so that I can have my vocals take the precedent in that specific frequency range when I'm mixing over a 2-track beat. So this is an extremely powerful technique. You can sidechain, like I said, about anything to make room for whatever you want to stick out. You can sidechain those specific frequencies, not just the whole signal, just the specific frequencies that overlap. So we're gonna get into it right now. Like I said, I'm glad to be back. I'm almost at 50 subscribers now. So slowly but surely I'm getting up there. We're gonna get to 1,000, one subscriber at a time, and we're gonna make it happen. So let's get straight into it. Wait 1 second. Before we get into it, I'm gonna ask you guys to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you guys can be updated when I drop another new video or a new release. Yeah, go ahead and like, comment if any of this information I'm giving to you is helpful. Let me know what you guys want to see next, how I can do better to improve my videos. I always appreciate constructive criticism. If you want to troll, do that too. All comments are good comments in terms of activity feed on my page, but let me know something. So I appreciate it if you can go subscribe, hit that like button, notification, turn that on, and let's get back into it now. Okay, so we're here in Pro Tools now, and I'm going to be using a beat that I made. I'm going to upload to my BeatStars for the example in this video, but I'm going to go ahead and play the hook of the beat, and I'm also going to bring up the Fabfilter Pro Q3. It's my favorite EQ. It's like the Swiss Army knives of EQs. You can do everything with this thing. Super useful, super powerful. But I'm going to be using the Fabfilter Pro Q3 EQ in this video for the example. And I'm going to go ahead, bring it up so you guys can look at the frequency spectrum. And the cool thing about this is that you have an analyzer here where you can bring up the frequency spectrums of other instruments or sounds that you also have a Pro Q3 on as a plugin or an insert on that track. You can see frequency spectrums layered on top of each other using the analyzer. So here I have the 808 EQ, but I'm also gonna have the kick EQ overlaid over it. So the white frequency spectrum wave that you see is gonna be the 808, and then the red one is gonna be the kick. And so I'm gonna go ahead and play the beat, and you guys just see what it looks like. And you're also going to see in the background these faint red vertical bars. It's going to be there to point out the overlapping frequencies that you guys may run into. When you're using the analyzer, it'll show you which frequencies are overlapping and how they're clashing with each other in what specific region. So it's a cool little tool to help you pinpoint what's going on when you have two frequencies you may be trying to sidechain, where those frequencies are clashing at and overlapping. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
Make waves, don't ride them.
Okay, so you guys see the red line, which was the kick, the white frequency line, which was the 808, and you've seen where the red was at, where I have this EQ actually at, and seeing the EQ line around this, when are we at, 70 range, was ducking down as the 808 and the kick was playing. So basically, I made, this is called dynamic EQ that Fabfilter Pro Q3 has, and it allows you to duck out specific frequencies. So around that 70 hertz range is where the kick and the 808 was clashing. You can see that with those faint red lines in the background, how it was clashing. And I ducked it out by a few dBs every time that the kick would play. The 808 would duck out in only that specific frequency region. Of course, guys, the best way to avoid frequency clashing is to, in your selection with beats, if you're a producer specifically, and to look for kicks and 808s that don't clash as much. So don't pick like a super sub basic kick with a 808, and those are going to have overlapping frequencies. The best way to avoid that is through sound selection. But this is just a tool to help you if you are not a producer and you're an engineer and you get a client that has beats that have certain sounds overlapping in certain frequencies. You can use this as a tool. But like I said in the beginning, I like this trick a little bit better than completely ducking the 808 every time that the kick hits, because it's specific to that frequency. So you have the rest of the frequencies on the left and right of the spectrum of the 808 still present, but it's just that main part that's clashing with the kick's main part in that 70 hertz region that is going to be getting ducked out, not the entire 808, just that specific frequency range. So I'm going to show you how I achieve that. So like I said, you have to have Pro Q3 plugin here. And then you have this key input, and this is for the sidechain. So basically I picked an open mono bus. So I just chose 7, you can choose 8, you can choose whatever it is. And then of course the kick has a Pro Q3 on it too. So this is going to be triggered by the 808. But with that key input, you're going to go over here to, which is bus 7, which is the one I just showed you guys. So the 808 is going to be triggered by bus 7, and I made an insert called bus 7, and I'll go ahead and just rename it now, and then we'll just say kick sidechain. Can't spell today. Kick sidechain. Okay, so this is basically saying that the 808 is going to be triggered by this bus called kick sidechain. Sorry, the kick is going to be routing information, the signal, to the kick sidechain bus, and then the 808 EQ is going to be receiving the information, and that's what's going to trigger it. So I'll go ahead and just delete this so I can show you guys how I got this. So I'm going to play it without this EQ, just so you guys can hear the 808 and the kick.
Make waves, don't ride them.
Okay, so you guys hear that? So that 70 hertz, 60, 80 hertz is competing between the kick and the 808. So how you do that is you go ahead with the Fabfilter and you can create a little point and add around the 70, because that's where I seen it was competing at. Let's just check it again.
Make waves, don't ride them.
Put it at the 66. We'll have to be super specific with that. But then you would have over here where it says gain, and then above that you have dynamic range. All right. So you go ahead and click on this little dynamic range. And with that, you can pull down by how many dBs you want this to attenuate when you're using this. So you can do it that way, or you go ahead and you hit this auto button, and it's already highlighted, but this is basically selecting the kick as the trigger. So with that, that's a bypassed. So then you're not getting any trigger information from the bus, and this enables you to get the trigger information from the bus. So you have that on. And then of course this is the threshold, and then here you select by how many dBs you want the specific region that you have highlighted to be attenuated once the kick is triggered or the kick is being played. So I'll go ahead and reduce the band because we don't need it ducking out all this information. The super wide band, we just need it about here to cover that spectrum. And then
Make waves, don't ride them.
so that activates it. And then you can pull down by how many dBs you want that frequency to be ducked using the dynamic range. So just put, I don't know, 4 dBs. You can use this right here, this little button, or you can actually go up here to these 2 arrows that you see, and it does the same thing. You can drop down the attenuation for the sidechain, and then go ahead and play it.
Make waves, don't ride them.
And then we're going to use the threshold to actually set at what point that the frequency crosses the dB range that you want the band to be activated at. So
Make waves,
the more we pull it down, the more drastic it's going to be.
make waves, don't ride them. Make waves, don't ride them.
Bring the threshold up a little bit more.
Make waves, don't ride them.
Okay guys, so now when the 808 and the kick are playing the specific frequency region from the 808 is being ducked out with the kick. So I'm gonna go ahead and bypass it so you guys can hear it before this edit is done with the EQ.
Make waves, don't ride them.
And again, listen to the 808 and the kick and see how that the 808 is kind of masking the kick.
Make waves, don't
And I'll
ride
bypass
them.
it. Okay guys, so there you go. You heard the 808 was able to cut through a lot easier when you just sidechain that specific frequency only, that 66 hertz region of the 808. So the 808 is still present. You didn't completely have to duck down the 808 every time that the kick hit the full frequency spectrum of the 808, but you were able just to attack that frequency where the punch of the kick was residing, where it was clashing at with the 808. He was able to duck that specific frequency region and be able to have the kick cut through more of the 808. So I kind of like using that a little bit more than side chaining the complete kick to the 808 or the 808 to the kick. It just helps a little bit better with, I don't know, it just sounds a little bit better to me. And of course, like I was saying earlier in the video, you can use this tool to duck the 1K region when you're doing 2 tracks so that your vocals can stand out, because 2 tracks you're not able to manipulate individual elements of the beat. So if you want your voice to be prominent in that region of that 1K, 800, 1K, 1.5, use this. Try it out, test it out. This, I'm telling you guys, this will help a lot to be able to get your vocals to cut through in a 2-track with that two when you're mixing it to a 2-track beat. Go ahead and try sidechaining that region and let me know how you guys feel about it and the results that you get. But this tool is super powerful. Fabfilter Pro Q3, the sidechaining function. I'm telling you, it changed the way I mixed. So yeah, you guys, that's it for the video. Let me know if this has been helpful for you guys. Go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section. Try it out. Let me know how it works for you. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification button so you can get notified whenever I drop new videos. Like I said, I'm sorry I was gone. 2020 was hectic, but we're back to it. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. You guys let me know what you guys want to see next with the video, and I'll try to put it out there, and I'll just continue to drop or mix in tricks and tips that I think is useful to you guys. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. Subscribe, and I will see you guys later. We out.